K did it, so you know it got slapped.
What you know about doing hard time in the lockup? No appeal and your baby mama knocked up. You only win 105 and you gotta survive. You better have some hands and get knotted up. Seeing friends turn to foes, you can't trust nobody. Every day is a test and you gotta have heart. And you gotta be smart and you can't be a mark. You're to blame your heart.
Welcome to Tubbs TV. I'm chilling in the van, and so I thought I'd tell you another story, you know. And this story is not a prison story. Most times when I tell you prison stories, I like to be in a prison cell that I built in my house, you know, so you kind of have an idea of what's, you know, what it's like to be, you know, trapped in that cell all the time. And like I said, I built this van out, and I'll be doing a lot of stories, you know, in my van. I got several cars, but I just like to have this van to relax in or whatever. I got a man cave in the house, but this kind of get me out, you know, with a little nature and get to do something. I meet a lot of people. I met a young lady the other day when I was in the park, had the door open, kind of chilling, and she walked up and she had asked me and my wife, because my wife was with me, and she said, well, how long you guys been out? And I said, well, we've been out here about 45 minutes. And she said, no, how long you guys been out? I've been living in my van for 8 months. And I didn't have the heart to tell her that I got a nice home to go home to, and we just out here playing homeless or whatever. So I told her we was out here for 6 months, you know, and see if she wanted to enjoy a meal with us at the time, because my wife had went to Walmart and got some chicken and some potato wedges. Too lazy to cook that day. That's what I was, because normally I do the cooking. So anyway, the story that I'm going to tell you today is going to be called Whore on the Third Floor, okay? So I was a kid at the time. This is in Cinicinnati, Ohio. And my Granddaddy Jack ran a speakeasy. For those who are young and don't know what a speakeasy is an after-hours bar. So they still to this day in Cincinnati got the blue law. So when the blue law's out, that means you can only sell liquor at a certain time, certain days. Like, I don't think you can sell liquor on Sundays in Ohio, still to this day. But anyway, and you have to shut down back then, at least at 10 o'clock. So Prohibition was over with, but Granddaddy Jack, you know, he liked to stay open late and people party all through the night. So he owned this building, and this big old building that he owned, he used to always say, I want you to know that this is the house that Jack built. So he had heard that. I think it was a kid's story, and he had heard that. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, whenever he got a chance to let you know that he was the king of that house, Granddaddy Jack ain't had no problem telling you. He had a holy, blasphemous way of talking. He used to always say stuff like, if God didn't want whores, what'd he make all these dick-sucking bitches for? And that drove my grandmother Ollie crazy, man. It drove her crazy when she heard stuff like that, because she was a very religious woman, and, you know, she didn't like to say anything, you know. Even though she was part of running the speakeasy, she didn't want to say anything, you know, that was against God or religious or whatever. So she struggled with that, you know, because she loved him, but she also wished that he'd change his life. But anyway, he was a gangster, and he wasn't about to change his life. And Granddaddy Jack was a special guy, man. And so you'll be hearing a lot of stories, you know, when I stayed with Granddaddy Jack. So anyway, make a long story short, I'm gonna go ahead and get to the name of this story, which is called Whore on the Third Floor. So I was a little kid at the time. At this time, I think I was like about, I want to say 7 or 8 years old. And you could not go out and play unless, you know, you did your chores. But the chores that we had to do had nothing to do with like cleaning a bathroom or nothing like that. Nah, man, we made liquor. I could make liquor ever since I was 7 or 8 years old. So we had to make, you know, what they call that stuff now? Moonshine or hooch. So the liquor that I knew how to make was hooch. So he didn't have like a distillery and everything else, and he really didn't need one. what he would do is he would take this liquor and we would make it in these big plastic tubs, and it mostly consisted of like orange juice or grapefruit juice, rice, bread, sugar. And then he would put off a kicker in there. And the kicker is what, like, if you take some liquor that's already been fermented and you put it in there, what it does is it speeds up the fermentation process. And so we'd have to pour like some vodka in there or something like that, or some hooch from the week before in there. And then we'd have to strain this and bottle it. So anyway, that was one of my chores. But in the meantime, another chore that I had was up in this building that he owned. You couldn't rent like an apartment right there. So he chopped up all the apartments and he rented rooms. So you rented rooms. And that's what he had. He had a bathroom on each floor, and it was like a shared bathroom for each person that was there. And so you come out your apartment, but inside your apartment it was your own little sanctuary where you had your little hot plate, little stove bed, desk, and but you couldn't move no furniture in there. The only furniture that you were allowed to move in Jack's house was your TV. So this particular evening, Jack and Baby Hicks, which Baby Hicks was a deadly, scary motherfucker, man. I'll tell you about him later on. I got a lot of stories to tell you about Baby Hicks. He was a very, very dangerous individual. And so he was Granddaddy Jack's enforcer. So everybody knew that if you had any problems with Granddaddy Jack, that you was going to have to deal with Baby Hicks and a couple of his little henchmen. So I think he was just cruel for the sake of being cruel. You know, he was just that type of person. He liked the lifestyle, but he liked the lifestyle because he had an opportunity to hurt somebody. Some people like that. I've met some like that, and some of the videos that I'm going to tell you about are going to be about some of those particular guys. Anyway, back to whore on the third floor. So they were down there gambling, and you know, I peep game. When I say I peep game, I peep what's going on. I watch a lot, and you know, it's kind of bright, and not toot my own horn, but I seen what they were doing. So the guys that they were gambling with, they were playing cards. So it was Granddaddy Jack on one side, it was Baby Hicks on the other. But Granddaddy Jack used to always wear this pinky ring, and his pinky ring was real shiny. But while he's dealing the cards, he would turn the cards in a way that Baby Hicks could see what their card was going to be. And so, obviously, you know, they had a big advantage, and I suspect, you know, they're going to win every time, or they're going to win the majority of the time. Sometimes even cheating ain't going to necessarily guarantee you a win. So, Granddaddy Jack said, you done with your chores? And I said, yeah, I'm done with my chores. And so, he told me, he said, I got you one more thing I need you to do. And I said, wow, what you need me to do? And he said, I need you to take a pint. And that was a small pint liquor. And so whenever they had a pint, let me tell you about a pint. A pint was whatever Jack fixed. So each week, you know, he had a bunch of these little brown bottles. And sometimes the liquor would be, like I said, it would be grapefruit. It had a grapefruit taste to it. And sometimes it'd be orange juice, had an orange juice taste to it. And but it was a pint. And so a pint was a pint. Shit, whatever the hell he fixed, you know, you drunk that shit, you didn't drink nothing at all. So, and there was no bringing it back. There was no complaining it or whatever. That right there is going to get you in trouble with Jack. So, and that's another thing too. He told me his name wasn't Granddaddy Jack. He said, God damn it, my name's Jack. And everybody know me, call me Jack. And that's what you going to call me too. So I used to tell him, yeah, okay, Granddaddy Jack. So that was the one thing I was defiant of. He's my granddaddy. He was Granddaddy Jack to me. So he kind of gave in on that most of the time. Every once in a while, if he had a bad day, I got reprimanded behind calling him Granddaddy Jack. So anyway, he said, go up there and take that whore on the third floor a pint liquor and tell her, don't be long, get her ass down here. So he had a parlor. And so if you got a speakeasy, a parlor used to be a place where the people come and they eat food, they dance, that kind of thing. And when it came down to food, the food was, there wasn't no menu like you go to the store, like you go to a restaurant or whatever. The menu consisted of whatever Grandma Ollie made. So if she made beans and ham hocks, then goddamn you got to pay the beans and ham hocks if you wanted something to eat in the house that Jack built. If she made fried chicken and greens, and that's what it was, and so on. So anyway, they could get a pint, they could get a plate, and they'd have to put it on their tab, and at the end of the month, whatever they ran up, as far as their liquor bill, their food bill, whatever, if they wanted some food that Grandma Ollie made, they pay it off at the end of the month. So anyway, I grabbed a pint and run up to the third floor. So I get up to the third floor, and I'm winded, man. So I'm winded, so I'm knock on the floor because I want to get this over with, Go downstairs and watch TV, Flintstones was coming on. So I knock real hard, and I'm knocking on the door, and she say, she answered the door, she say, "Damn, baby, what's going on? Where the fire at?" I said, "Ain't no fire." I said, "Hold on the third floor. Granddaddy Jack said to give you this pint, and don't forget to mark it on your tab, because he ain't gonna forget to mark it on his." And she said, "Hold on the third floor? My name ain't Hold on the third floor. My name Mabel." I said, "Well, Mabel, Granddaddy Jack said, take this pint and don't forget to put it on your tab." And she say, "Now, from now on, you call me Mabel. That's my name, is Mabel. And you tell your Granddaddy Jack my name Mabel." And I ain't no dang on Hold on the third floor. Where the hell did he get that from? So I run downstairs, and I tell Granddaddy Jack what he said. So I said, "Granddaddy Jack, Mabel said that her name Mabel, and she gonna put that on her tab." So I get ready to walk away. He said, hold it a motherfucking minute." I said, "God damn, man, I can forget the Flintstones at this point. I'm a Miss Fred and Barney, and all what's going on, So I come back, and I said, "Huh?" He said, "Huh?" I said, "Yes, sir." He say, "Let me tell you something. This the motherfucking house that Jack built. Don't you and no motherfucker that come through them doors forget it. And any bitch that's up on the third floor got the same motherfucking name, whore on the third floor. That bitch that's up there right now, that's her name too. And whore on the third floor is what the one before her was. That's the one after her, and that's gonna be the next 10 whores that live in that room. Whore on the third floor. You understand me?" I said, "Yes, sir." "Now, what she give you for your tip?" I said, "Well, she ain't give me nothing. I just gave her the pint and came back and told what she said." He said, "Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing free in the house that Jack built. Nothing. Not even bringing a bitch a pint. Now you get your ass back up them stairs and you tell the hoe on the third floor that that's going to be her name now, and that's going to be her name as long as she in the house that Jack built, and you get your tip and your ass back down here." So I go back up there, but this time I didn't run. I'm thinking, man, I got to knock on this door, I got to talk to this woman and tell her that her name is Whore on the third floor. So I get up there, I knock on the door, she opened the door, and she said, "What is it, baby? I didn't need no 2 pints. I said, "I didn't bring no other pint. I came up here to tell you that Granddaddy Jack said your name Whore on the third floor, and every bitch that live in this room is going to be called Whore on the third floor, and that's that. And he also told me to get a quarter for a tip." And she said, "Well, baby, I ain't got no quarter to give you for no tip. Every quarter I get, the Granddaddy Jack take that. So you go down there and tell him that." I said, "Well, I can't leave without no quarter, without no tip. I'm going to get in trouble. You got to give me a tip." She said, "Well, I can't give you what I ain't got." I said, "Well, I got to get something because I can't go back down them steps without that tip." She said, "I tell you what." So she reached her skirt back And when she reached her skirt back, she was naked. And she said, give me your hand. So she grabbed my hand and she stuck it between her legs and she wiggled it around. And she said, now give me your other hand. So I grabbed the other hand and reached up. And she said, you see these right here? These is titties. You squeeze them real, real good. And you take that other hand and you enjoy that. You tell him that's your goddamn tip. Anytime you come up here, whore on the 3rd floor, gonna give you whore on the 3rd floor, even for a tip. So she slammed the door and I go back down the steps. This time I sit on the steps for a while because I didn't want to deal with, getting in trouble. So I waited till they was laughing and playing. And when I thought they was, slapping cars and having fun, that's when I made my move. I was trying to hurry up and get to the TV. Maybe I can catch the end of my program. So right when I thought I made it, Granddaddy Jack said, hold on, goddammit, hold it a minute. Where the fuck do you think you going? I said, Granddaddy Jack, I'm going to watch Flintstones. He said, did you take care of what I said? You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah. I talked to whore on the 3rd floor, and I let her know that that's her name, whore on the 3rd floor. And I got ready to walk away. He said, hold on, that ain't everything I asked you to do. He said, let me see the motherfucking tip I told you to get out of her. I said, well, she didn't have no quarter. She said that she gave you all the quarters that she had. He said, so you didn't get a motherfucking thing? You didn't do what I said, do? I said, well, she took my finger and stuck it between her legs and wiggled it around. And you said she did? I said, yeah, it stink too. And so they all started laughing. And then she took my other hand and put it up on her titties. And she said, anytime somebody come up to visit whore on the 3rd floor, they gonna get whore on the 3rd floor, and they gonna get whore on the 3rd floor for a tip too. So anyway, they started laughing. And she said, he said, well, you go on in the other room and enjoy your finger, and we gonna go on and get back to playing cards. So I get another room, and I'm like, what do you mean enjoy your finger? Fingers stink. So I put it to my nose, and I must admit that even back then, it had a stinky yet pleasant smell to it. And so it got me out of trouble with Granddaddy Jack. And it also was my first introduction to a woman. So that is the end of Whore on the 3rd Floor. I hope you enjoyed that story. Like, subscribe, comment. I appreciate you coming. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
Royce K did it, so you know it got slapped.
What you know about doing hard time in the lockup? No appeal and your baby mama knocked up. You only win with a 5 and you gotta survive. You better have some hands and get knotted up. Seeing friends turn to foes, you can't trust nobody. Every day is a test and you gotta have heart and you gotta be smart and you can't be a mark and a blame to your heart.
Welcome to Tubbs TV.